Welcome to the Kliq Cast Podcast. I am sorry I took a few weeks off there. I tried to film this about 3 weeks ago, and I thought I filmed a full hour-plus episode. Turned out nothing was filmed. I was very aggravated, and then I hadn't had anyone to co-host with me. No co-host tonight, but we're back, so I apologize. Kliq Cast Podcast is back, and I will be doing tonight's episode all alone, but I'm here to review tonight's episode of AEW Dynamite on July 26th, the July 25th NXT, and the July 24th Monday Night Raw. Those are the three shows I'm going to be recapping, giving you guys my thoughts, my take on everything happening in those three shows. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. Of course, really quickly, I know I didn't do Money in the Bank, Blood and Guts last week as well. I didn't do a podcast on that. My overall thoughts on Money in the Bank was a fantastic pay-per-view. I have no complaints about it. And with Blood and Guts last week, loved it. The only thing I did think is I thought Kota was moving a little slow. Ironically, Kota Ibushi tweeted out today what his problems were. Apparently, he wasn't aware of it having thumbtacks and glass until the very last minute or something like that, or he wasn't aware until the very last minute, something like that. The translation's kind of funny, but he wasn't aware that there's going to be glass and thumbtacks until the very last minute. Didn't have the proper gear. So he had issues with his feet and legs, and it was just hard for him to really move around in the ring, is, I believe, what the translation said. So overall, though, that was my only complaint about it. I love Blood and Guts. I thought it was fantastic last week. Now let's go ahead and jump into Monday Night Raw, July 24th. We've been killing it. WWE has been killing it, selling out multiple arenas. The show opened up with a Judgment Day with Dominic Mysterio getting all this heat. He is the heat magnet. Every city they go in, there is nonstop heat for this guy, and I'm loving where he is. He is the current NXT North American champion. He won it last Tuesday, so that's been the big thing. Defeated Wesley with the help of the Judgment Day, so his first appearance on Raw as North American champion. He comes out alone as champion. He gets on the mic. Of course, the crowd boos the hell out of him. Eventually, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn come out. Owen talks his way through Judgment Day standard promo and tells Dominic that no one cares about him. The best thing that he could do for business is shut his mouth forever. Mysterio's upset about being disrespected, and Sami Zayn says the thing nobody respects is him, and he can't be disrespected. Sami pitches a match for the North American title, which Mommy Rhea accepts on Dominic's behalf. Really fun opening promo. I found it funny that Kevin Owens came out and interrupted the Judgment Day when he's the one complaining, like, hey, you weren't called. Your name wasn't called. And he broke that rule here, so I thought that was kind of funny. Immediately after that, we have Becky Lynch making her entrance. We go to commercial break. Come back to Zoe Starks making her way. Of course, if Becky Lynch wins this match, she gets another shot at Trish Stratus, who's still rocking the goofy face mask. I think it's so funny, though, because she doesn't pull her hair through. Like, if you look at the old footage of her when she did the nose mask thing, she pulled her hair through the mask. This time, she's not even pulling her hair. You just see the little elastics from the back of it. It looks freaking terrible, but it makes it so much funnier. So we come back. Lynch and Zoe have great chemistry. They put on a fantastic match here. At one point up top, jockeying for position, Lynch hits a superplex, roll through with into a cross arm part. Zoe Starks turns it into a powerbomb off the ropes. They trade some pins, roll-ups. No one gets the pinfall. Becky gets the disarm her, breaks it to kick Trish off the apron, who tries to interfere. Starks with the schoolboy roll-up for the two, slinging Zoe out to the apron. Becky then hangs... Zoe pushes her out. She hangs Becky's neck over the rope. Springboard caught. I am botching my words here. In the end, Becky Lynch wins via pinfall with a manhandle slam. I was reading the report here, and I just cannot read. But Becky will be facing Trish, and it will more than likely be at SummerSlam, which is almost a week away from now. After that, we got a recap of Cody Rhodes being beat down by Brock Lesnar in his hometown in front of his own mom. We come back. They show Vo Williams, who sings the Monday Night Raw theme song, sitting in the front row. We see Cody Rhodes. He comes out. He got some pretty typical Cody Rhodes promo. There was nothing in there that really stood out. To me, it was more of a you beat me down in front of my family, and I hate you for that, and I'm going to beat you down at SummerSlam. So I'm just waiting to see what kind of stipulation they're going to put down here. Typical Cody Rhodes promo. Nothing too crazy here. He is hella over, though. Those woes are, whoa, very good. But typical promo here. So we're going to see what happens between Cody and Brock at SummerSlam here in about a week. We get an interview with Ricochet backstage about Logan Paul. He said he's thrilled that Logan accepted his invitation, but he doesn't understand why he thinks he can just show up late or whatever. And everything he wants to say, he'll say to Logan's face. So we get that a little bit later on. Immediately after that, we get Dominic Mysterio versus Sami Zayn for the NXT North American title. It was a good match. This might be one of my favorite Dominic Mysterio matches. At one point, they come back from commercial break. We see Sami Zayn has Dominic in the corner. He's mounting punches. Rhea Ripley and Damian run interference. Damian Priest knocks Sami Zayn down while Rhea has the ref distracted. The ref sees Kevin Owens come up on the apron to run away Rhea Ripley, and he throws out Kevin Owens, and the crowd's like, what? Because the Judgment Day were the ones who interfered, and Kevin Owens was trying to get them away from what they were doing. But luckily, the ref immediately pointed to both Damian and Rhea, who were the only two out there. We had no Finn here, and he tossed them out as well. So no Rhea, no Damian, and Dominic's all alone defending the North American title against Sami Zayn. Excuse me. After that, Mysterio cuts Sami out with the midair with the drop kick, goes for the pin. No, mounted punches from the champion. Another drop kick. Zayn looks for the blue thunder bomb, but Mysterio kicks out. We see a drop kick that sets up the 619 from Dom, but Sami kicks out once Dominic lands it. Front kick sets up the 3 amigos. 1, 2, almost, but Dom gets 3 of them. I'm sorry, this was for the pinfall. Sami Zayn gets the exploder in the corner. He wants the haluva kick, but he gets distracted by the Judgment Day because they throw Kevin Owens out on the stage. Kevin goes rolling, and they beat him down. It distracts Sami Zayn, and from there, we see Dominic Mysterio with the pinfall, retaining the North American title. Of course, we see trainers and Adam Pearce rush out to check on Kevin Owens, and it looks like he's going to be out for a little bit, possibly. There's no actual timetable, but it's very possible that we see KO maybe miss a few weeks in ring, maybe. Maybe he's out for a couple weeks. I don't know if they're going to try to take the titles off of them, but Kevin Owens supposedly has injured ribs of some sort, might be having a broken rib. Again, no timetable on what that type of injury might be like for him, if he's even going to miss any time. There's no actual dates or anything on if he's going to miss. So we'll have to wait to see if he's on the show on possibly next Monday or even SmackDown this Friday. They are the Unified Tag Champs, so they've been showing up on every show. After we get back from commercial break, they hype up Gable Stevenson's decision. He's deciding between collegiate wrestling, the Olympics, and WWE. And we'll get that when we'll talk to that when we get to the NXT review. Ricochet runs into Nakamura backstage. He asks if he saw Logan Paul. Nakamura says he hasn't. Ricochet asks him to let him know if he does. Tommaso Ciampa then rolls up and says, last week is water under the bridge, but he expects Nakamura to stay away tonight while he teaches Bronson Reed a lesson. And if he gets involved, he'll take it as a message. Bronson makes his entrance. We get Tommaso Ciampa and Bronson Reed in a fantastic match. It's great to see that Tommaso Ciampa back. Really good match overall here. Headbutt from Reed, knee from Tommaso Ciampa to a fireman's carry. Air raid crash from Ciampa on Bronson Reed. Nakamura comes up, of course, on the ramp. Bronson hits Ciampa while he's distracted. And Bronson Reed wins by pinfall with the tsunami. Afterwards, we see Liv Morgan backstage. She says Raquel Rodriguez is a big girl. She'll be fine. But tonight, Rhea is hers. And she reminds us that she's the last one to beat her. So there's no way she's backing down. Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville and Rhea Ripley share an awkward moment in another interview. The tag champs run off. And Rhea says she took Raquel out and Liv is next. And a pattern is forming. So it looks like we're going to be getting Raquel and Rhea here. Of course, we see Adam Pearce backstage. When we come back, he says that tonight sets up the final details, or he's setting up the final details for the contract signing with Seth and Finn. As Liv Morgan makes her way to the ring for a match with Rhea Ripley, Rhea blindsides her, throwing her into the barricade and to the ring post. Rhea grabs chairs, takes her into the ring, wrapping the chair around her arm and stepping on it over and over. She continues the attack and screams at Liv over and over as the trainers try to check on her. And it takes the trainers like a good minute to get Rhea to get out of the ring while she yells at Liv. And it was very heartbreaking for me because I'm a big Liv fan. But they're definitely setting up Raquel versus Rhea here at SummerSlam. And I don't know if Rhea's losing here. I don't think she is. As much as I like Raquel, I don't think as hot as the Judgment Day is, we're going to see Rhea lose. So that sucked, but overall, good segment. Rhea looked like a monster there. We got a recap of what we just saw, and then we go into Liv Morgan, who's backstage in the trainer's room sobbing, saying that she can't move her arm at all, and apparently her injury is real. Supposedly it might have been Rhea attacking the unhurt shoulder or arm, and she actually does have a hurt arm and might be missing some time because of that as well. We see Alpha Academy challenging, a match for an Academy Rules match to the Viking Raiders. And then Maxine Dupree challenges Valhalla for a one-on-one match next Monday. So we're going to see Maxine Dupree versus Valhalla next Monday. We got Ricochet comes out. He calls Logan Paul out, and everybody knows Logan doesn't belong there. It's not because he's not good. It's not that he hasn't put in the work. It's because he is and has. Some might even call Paul special, but not Ricochet, because he is special. But anyway, Logan doesn't belong here because he's an arrogant little prick. So he says to show up, leave. He gets to show up, leave when he wants, and that's okay because wherever he is, Ricochet has one thing to say. He wants to challenge Logan Paul at SummerSlam. He wants to see. He sees him going, running his mouth, talking about a fight, and if he wants a fight, let's get a fight. Which I guess Cody, Brock, there's a fight. Now this is a fight, but whatever. Logan Paul blindside Ricochet out of nowhere, like literally a great tight shot where we just see Logan come in out of nowhere, takes him out, talks trash to him. Before Ricochet pops up, hits him with a super kick, and then a running shooting star press while taking a selfie with Logan Paul's phone, because Logan was trying to do a video after he attacked Ricochet. Ricochet's improved on the mic, but I just couldn't get behind that promo on Monday. But I think he feels a lot more confident. Just you could tell by the way his delivery. I just feel like he's changed a lot in his delivery on the mic. And I think this match at SummerSlam is going to be killer. I think it's going to be really good. I'm excited to see what happens this coming Monday between them two, because Logan Paul will once again be on Raw. But yeah, we'll see. That match should be really crazy. We get a Shayna Baszler interview after that. She's saying she's sick of hearing Ronda Rousey's name in reference to everything that she has to do. Talking hasn't settled it. A match isn't going to settle it. She's going to settle it the only way that she can at SummerSlam. In a language that Rousey knows best. She's going to fight her. That's again, three times we've had, no, I don't want to wrestle you. I want to fight you at SummerSlam. So what is Cody and Brock going to be fight? Is that going to be like a last man standing? What is Logan and Ricochet going to be? I'm assuming that one's going to be the actual wrestling match, even though he said he wants to fight him. And then, of course, here... we get Shayna wanting to fight Ronda at SummerSlam. I'm assuming if anything deserves a type of fight feel at SummerSlam out of all these, it has to be Shayna Ronda in a fight pit. I've said it for a while now. That's what needs to happen. Book it, Hunter. After we come back from commercial break, Logan Paul runs into an interview. He says that next Monday he's coming for Ricochet and he's going to pop his stupid bald head. It's mean, man. Some people just like to shave their head. After that, we get Apollo Crews versus Damian Priest. It's a good back-and-forth match. Really short. Both men use their agility. Crews low-bridge Priest onto the floor. Slingshot, jump over the trip. Heel kick, moonsault off the apron, and Apollo is fired up. Back inside, Damian turned the tide. He waited for Crews, who backflipped off the drop kick and Zaguri. Priest cracks him with an elbow hammerlock and a Pepsi twist. Damian Priest wins with the South of Heaven. Fun match overall. Gives Damian Priest a win. Judgment Day. This was the Judgment Day show, man. They all had their own moments, segments in the show. We already had Sammy. We had Dom and Sammy, excuse me. So we had Dom. We had Rhea take out Liv in her segment, besides that promo at the beginning of the show. And then we had Damian with the win over Apollo. He did run into Apollo backstage. I did somehow skip over that segment. He ran into Apollo, and who was talking to Tozawa, which was actually really funny because once they were talking to Crews, who was trying to stick up for himself, Rio goes into Tozawa, leans in and says, "Do you have a problem?" And Tozawa, "Nope." And he just walks away hysterically. And once they're done talking to Apollo and they set up that match that I just reviewed, we see Tozawa come back, and it was really funny. But I totally skipped over that segment, and I apologize for that. But that was a great segment. Afterwards, we see Becky walking backstage and talking to Skulls and whatnot. She runs into an interview. Skulls, I have no idea. I'm reading off of Cage Side Seats, by the way. The reviewer here, I don't remember that, so whatever. But she says she's excited about her win over Zoe Stark, and now that she has her rematch with Trish Stratus, it ain't over until she wins. Imperium makes their entrance, and we come back to the Viking Raiders promo, even though Imperium's in the ring. about how the gods are pleased when they do battle in their name, and Valhalla accepts Maxine Dupree's challenge. So it looks like we're gonna get the Academy Rules match, whatever that is, and Maxine and Valhalla next Monday. So we get Drew McIntyre, and we're getting the face-to-face here with Gunther. Drew gets on the mic and says that he's here dressed, so why not just have their match right now? Gunther says after all that's happened, he wants the title on the line tonight. He says he's raised the prestige of that title to a level never seen, and he will not defend a title in front of these degenerates. But he will fight Drew at SummerSlam. Here we go, we're getting another fight. McIntyre wants to talk about WrestleMania. He tells the story of meeting Sheamus the first time and dreaming of a singles match at WrestleMania. And they had that match this year, but then Gunther picked the bones. Now they'll do it one-on-one, and Drew will kick his ass and become the new IC champion. Ludwig, who's charismatic as hell, steps in and tells McIntyre, don't talk to the ring general like that. Drew says that he actually likes Ludwig, that he has moxie and charisma, where Gunther is watching paint dry. Drew says he thinks Ludwig should be the leader of Imperium, but Kaiser isn't interested in being disrespected. Drew challenges him to a one-on-one, and Ludwig steps up to him, and they call for a ref. And what was a very fun match as well, actually. When we came back from the commercial, because there was a commercial break in between the match, McIntyre hits an avalanche air raid crash, goes for the Future Shock DDT, but he gets the headbutt instead, laying in wait the countdown for the Claymore. Kaiser counters it with an enziguri. He gets some elbows and uppercuts. He drops his own enziguri again, but Drew snaps off the enziguri and hits a Claymore for the win. Afterwards, Imperium jump Drew McIntyre, and they put the mats to Matt Riddle, when he makes the save. No one else comes out. Gunther lays him out with a powerbomb to the floor. Drew reverses Gunther, gets powerbombed through the table. So, really good segment. I'm excited for Drew McIntyre and Gunther at SummerSlam, and I think that we're going to see Gunther break that Honky Tonk Man record, and to do that, he has to retain at SummerSlam, and I think that's what's going to happen. I think we're going to see Gunther retain at SummerSlam. But good match between Kaiser. During that match, by the way, with McIntyre and Kaiser, we had Corey Graves do a fantastic Ludwig Kaiser impression, and cracked me the hell up, man. You definitely need to go back and watch that match to hear it. Afterwards, we get Ronda Rousey responding to Shayna Baszler. She says that Shayna can't challenge her to a fight because every time she fights, it's the fight. But the challenge is accepted. Whatever, Ronda. We get Finn Balor making his entrance. We're at the end of Raw here for the contract signing. He opens the book. Adam Pearce was supposed to be here, but Judgment Day Chaos has left him with his hands full. But hey, Finn's a professional, Seth's a professional. They both want the match, and they can get it done like gentlemen. Seth Rollins comes out. He immediately signed the contract, sits down, and waits for Finn. Balor hesitates, and Rollins immediately reads him as he realizing he doesn't stand a chance, and says either he's going to lay down and listen to the people sing his song, and even if he is the winner, his title reign will be shorter than his Universal Championship reign was, because Priest will cash in on him then and there. Oof. SummerSlam won't be the coronation of the Judgment Day. It'll be the end of the Judgment Day. Balor signs it, and Seth thinks that he has it all figured out. Thinks he's so smart, the architect. Whoever the writer of this is fantastic. He thinks he runs this place, but he doesn't. The Judgment Day run Raw now, and they come to the ringside area through the crowd now. So then we see Damian, we see Rhea and Dominic enter like the Shield, and Finn tells him he's been losing for the last 7 years and slowly going mad because of it, and it feels like an itch that you just can't scratch. A 7-year itch even, and at SummerSlam, he'll make Seth his 7-year bitch. Rollins flips over the table, but the Judgment Day immediately jump him. Damian kicks his head off, and then he takes him out with the Money in the Bank briefcase before. Damian even tries to cash in. Sami Zayn comes out with a chair, and makes them run off, but Balor takes him down, and they jump him from there. Judgment Day stand over Seth. Damian hits a razor's edge. Dominic hits a frog splash, and Finn puts the coup de grace, but Damian, of course, sticks to his word like he said, and that he's letting Finn have the first crack. Again, I guess. So, overall, good Raw. It had great matches. It felt really long to me. All the 3 hours are always hard to get through, but overall, pretty solid Raw. Let's go ahead and jump into NXT. A really good NXT here. Once again, the Judgment Day show as we start off with Dominic Mysterio at the start of the show. Oh my goodness, here I have the wrong thing pulled up for NXT. My apologies. I have the week prior. There it is. Nope, that's the wrong one again. Why am I picking the one from a week ago? About a week ago. I am stalling. Here we go. Found it. All right. We start off with Dominic Mysterio with Rhea Ripley. They get in the ring. Rhea reaffirms that the Judgment Day runs WWE. She talks about Lyra Valkyria, but Wesley interrupts. He's not taking this anymore, and he hates seeing that Dominic has the NXT North American title. He said for 269 days, that title represented hard work and opportunity, and he put his heart and soul into it. And to lose it the way he did, you best believe he wants his rematch. Ripley says that a new champion is exactly what NXT needed. I disagree. West agrees that they need a new champion tonight. Mustafa Ali enters. He says that he has love and respect for Wesley, but he's got no love and respect for Dom for stealing the title from him, and that's what he does. He steals catchphrases. His dad's 619, his other daddy's Frog Splash, and now his opportunity for that North American title. He calls Wes a dummy for putting the title on the line, and he honest about being angry and says he warned Lee to not take the match, but he was too stupid to listen. So he's taking jabs at Wesley there. They go back and forth. Dom says that this sounds like a you guys kind of problem, not a mommy and Dom problem. He doesn't care if it's one or both of them at the Great American Bash. But then Dominic tries to cold shoulder Ali. Ali tries to blast him with some kicks, with some shots, but Dom ducks. Wes eats it instead, and they brawl until they notice Judgment Day looking on from the ramp. After that, we get Tony D and Stax backstage. D'Angelo says he'll never forget the reaction the NXT fans gave him, and Stax says they're going to win those tag titles. Overall, I'm excited to see Tony D back, by the way. And that opening segment, I loved it. After that, we get Bronco and Lucian Price, who roll up to Tony and Stax. They talk some trash back and forth. Tony says that Sunday is Sunday, and tonight that he needs to shake off that ring rust. So Bronco Nima, Lucian Price versus Tony D and Stax going down. We get a 6-man tag match immediately following that. But before that, we saw Lyra Valkyria was interviewed, and she says that Rhea is the measuring stick, and she's not going to just bide her time and wait in the shadows. And tonight is about her showing the world who she is. So now we go into that 6-man tag. Ilya Dragunov, Trick, and Mello versus Schism. Jagger Reed, Joe Gacy, Rip Fowler. Fun 6-man tag. In the end, excuse me, we had the malfunction at the junction, and Dragunov blast Trick Williams on the floor as the malfunction in the junction is tag team mishaps. Back inside, Ilya caught Gacy with the boot. Back elbows, big Saito suplex from the chainsaw. Side press, cover for 2, tag to the dyad, working Dragunov over, but masked goons trip them as Gacy comes off the top. To me, they look like the Creed brothers in those masks. I've been saying it for the last few weeks. Carmelo with the hot tag, and he hits nothing but net for the win over Joe Gacy. Afterwards, Trick and Ilya going back and forth with Carmelo trying to be the peacemaker, and eventually we see Trick saying that he's going to call him out later tonight. We get the security footage of the store brawl between Roxanne and Blair. We saw it, of course, on Twitter the day before, or X, whatever the fuck it's called now, where we saw Blair was live on, I think, Instagram, and then she was attacked by Roxanne. Roxanne said this live is officially over, and that was the end of the video. While on NXT, they showed the floor length where people were recording and, security footage of them brawling in this little bodega store, and Roxanne just putting her boot to Blair, beating her down in this. It was actually really funny and a little kind of reminiscent of the Booker T and Stone Cold grocery store brawl. But fun segment setting up for their match, obviously, that they're going to be having at Great American Bash this Sunday. If you guys didn't know, I will be live reacting to that on my Twitch as well, so make sure you follow me on the Twitch. After that, we get a Tiffany Stratton hype reel for her match against Thea Hale. It was a really good hype reel. She'll be taking on Thea Hale in a submission match at Great American Bash this Sunday. After that, we have a big body Javi versus Von Wagner. Quick and sweet match. Von Wagner hits with a one-arm spinning spine buster for the win. Post-match, Wagner tries to powerbomb Javi through the announce desk, or he does, I believe. And then after that, Braun Baker spears him like the best spear I've ever seen. Gets a chair, referees swarm them and keep him away from Von, and Robert Stone, and Robert Stone protects him with his body. After that, we see that Gable Steveson is about to be making his decision tonight. What will he choose? Will he choose collegiate wrestling? Will he choose the Olympics? Or will he choose WWE? After that, we see Ilya Dragunov walking backstage. Carmelo rolls up. Hayes says that as far as they go, Dragunov says he's coming for that title. And Trick rolls up super hot about Ilya hitting him. Dragunov says that he likes Trick, but if he comes at him like a man, he'll break him. Williams is fighting mad. Hayes begs him to be professional about it, but Trick is going to call his punk ass out. We see Gable Steveson. He gets on the mic. He says all his credentials. Let's defend, cheer him on every time, but he's immediately interrupted by Baron Corbin. Immediately made me not care about this segment, but it led to Gable Steveson challenging him to a Great American Bash match. So we're going to get his first actual match. So I guess he chose WWE here. I don't know. Is he going to do the one match and go off to the collegiate wrestling or the Olympics? Maybe. I don't know, but he didn't say anything. So I'm assuming for now he's WWE, but I'm assuming he might still make that choice to go elsewhere. After that, we see Dominic and Rhea. They hang out backstage before their match. I don't remember what they said, so we're going to move on from that. Cora Jade versus Dana Brooke. I did not know this was a kendo stick match until this match was about to happen. Fun match overall. This might be my favorite Dana Brooke match. But in the end, in a surprise, Dana Brooke with a senton atomico onto a chair with the kendo sticks on top of it gets the win. She got her ass beat down at the beginning of this match, but she gets the win. Dana Brooke, huge win over Cora Jade. Cora Jade fans in shambles. Afterwards, see Carmelo Hayes talking to Ilya Dragunov. Dragunov says if Trick challenges him, he'll break him. And on Sunday, he'll break Hayes. I believe that was what we saw earlier, actually. We see Charlie Dempsey stretching some guy backstage after we come back from commercial break. Drew Gulak pulls him aside and gives him a pep talk. Damian Kemp rolls up to work something out as far as training partnership goes, and they agree. So Damian Kemp going to be partnering up with Charlie Dempsey and Drew Gulak here. It's a great combination. Great wrestler in Damon Kemp. He's the younger brother of Gable Steveson. So we had a really fun match here with Bronco Nima, Lucian Price versus the D'Angelo family, Stax and Tony D. Lucian Price and Bronco Nima impressed the fuck out of me. I mean, they had the squash match the week prior against Scripps and Axiom, where Scripps turned on Axiom and let Axiom get beat down by Nima and Price. But here, these four had a very, very good match. It wasn't really long, but it was a very fun match. In the end, the D'Angelo family get the win over Bronco Nima and Lucian Price. Afterwards, Gallus cut a promo from the Tron about how they're going to retain their titles. Also, during the match, Axiom attacked Scripps or Reggie at the commentary desk, and they fought through the ring and through the ramp. So that feud is going to continue with Scripps and Axiom. But Gallus cut a promo on the Tron about how they're going to retain the titles this Sunday at Great American Bash. So that will be an interesting match. We have Dijak, who gets a video package. He calls out Eddie Thorpe for I believe, an NXT Underground match. That's going to be interesting because I didn't see the one that happened on July 4th. So I'm interested to see those two do battle and that happens. We see the footage of the gas station attack. I'm sorry, I thought we had already, I must have talked about that early. We do see the cops pull up, actually, on Roxanne, too. That's funny. Afterwards, we get a really funny segment with Metaphor. Of course, we see Noam Dar. He's still completely dead in his freaking wheelchair. He has this pink wheelchair. It's hilarious. They had a title of the of the Heritage Cup like on him framed, and they pull out another Heritage Cup underneath this blanket or whatever, and he pops up. He's alive. First time since he lost it. He moves and he talks and he's excited with his ripped up old suit and messed up hair, and he gets excited, but then out comes Dragon Lee and Nathan Frazier, who Nathan Frazier has his Heritage Cup. So there's two Heritage Cups. We got the Razor Shawn, who's the real champion here? And we're going to be getting, it looks like, them two at Great American Bash this Sunday, I believe. I could be wrong on that. After that, we go to our main event, Lyra Valkyria versus Rhea Ripley. And this was a fun match. It started off slow, but it picked up. After the commercial break, we come back. Valkyria looked to lock in a sleeper hold, but Rhea breaks her out by breaking into a corner. She hits a big headbutt, but blocks a powerbomb. Rhea goes up to the top. Lyra knocks her off and down to the floor, and Valkyria goes off the ropes and baseball slide, taking out Dominic Mysterio and diving Frankensteiner to Ripley. Valkyria looked great here. They go back inside, diving crossbody, but Rhea caught her and threw her up, but Lyra reversed it into a DDT up top, a diving splash for Lyra, but Rhea kicks out. And Rhea chains them together for a pump handle and hits the Riptide for the 1-2-3. Really fun main event, but that wasn't it. Afterward, Trick Williams walks out to the ring, calls out Ilya Dragunov. Ilya immediately comes out, and they fight their ass off. They beat the shit out of each other. No one comes out and tries to break this up. I was the whole time like, where's no one? There's no one coming out. Usually you got security, you got the refs, you got all that. No one. They had nothing. They let him fight until Carmelo Hayes gets in there, throws himself in front of the torpedo to save Trick, and he gets taken out by the torpedo from Dragunov. And as we see Trick down, Mello down, he gets on the mic, says Carmelo's a man of honor, and that's commendable, but Trick will be all he has left after he takes that NXT title at Great American Bash. Really solid NXT, and the ratings are showing that Dominic and the Judgment Day continue to draw for the WWE. I was very enjoyable NXT. Now, I'm going to take a little sip of water here, and then we're going to jump into this AEW Dynamite from tonight. So overall, NXT I've been enjoying. If you guys have been curious, I've got back into NXT back in January because I was going to Stand and Deliver. I was going to Mania, so my buddy got us tickets to Stand and Deliver as well. So I got back into the product because I wanted to know what was happening. And sometimes I feel like it could be better. Sometimes I feel like it's really good. And this has been really on a hot streak, and the ratings are showing that. Now, when it comes to AEW Dynamite tonight, again, Blood and Guts was last Wednesday, and that match was phenomenal. We have a great team right now with MJF and Adam Cole. They've been amazing as a team ever since they were grouped together for this blind eliminator tag that they won. They had a great match where they did the dance-off last week. Overall, last week, I enjoyed all of last week except for Jungle Boy and Hook, which we'll get into on this because we did have more of that tonight with those two. But we have AEW from Albany, New York. We start off with the international title on the line, Orange Cassidy and AR Fox. Of course, Rick G missed this match. He was late tonight. But a match that I think I had higher expectations for. I don't know if this was just me, but I felt like there was a lot of moves that I don't know if it was just the camera angles or what it was that just didn't connect and it looked like they missed. And there was just some things that like reversals that looked kind of slow. I'm no wrestler, but I've watched for a long time. And yes, I could not do what they do in that ring. But like at the same time, when it came to those two, I expected, I guess, a lot more than that. It just felt slower than I expected. It picked up at the end, but we do see Orange Cassidy retain the international title. Afterwards, Orange gives Fox his glasses as a sign of respect, but AR Fox crushed them and laid out Cassidy with the forearm. Then AR Fox rolled out of the ring. He looks like he's shocked at what he did to himself. We see Darby Allin roll up, start yelling at him for what he did, calling him embarrassing. And he just says, why does he do that? AR Fox looks like he didn't know why he did it. As they leave arguing, Jon Moxley runs out, picks up Orange Cassidy, hits him with the lariat and the Death Rider. He pie faces a camera out his way in anger. Fuck you, Mox. My OC. Great opening match, or a great opening segment overall when it came to giving AR Fox a heel turn, or seemingly starting his heel turn, and having Moxley come out and lay out OC, because Moxley does take on Best Friends and Lucha Bros later tonight. Afterwards, we have backstage Renee interviewing Chris Jericho and Don Callis. Callis says the outpouring of interest from the fans on social media and the potential of Chris joining his family makes him feel like they're giving us something and no pressure, but he's arranged a dream tag match for next week for him and Takeshita. Jericho says that Takesha's amazing and he's willing to give it a try. Don says, well, his opponents will be Daniel Garcia and Sammy Guevara. And Jericho doesn't know what to say. Callis smooth talks him a bit and how he said that they need to step up to the next level. And Jericho goes, you know what? I agree. Let's do it. Don reveals it's a work of art. This painting is like, look at it. It's us. I had it commissioned with Junkyard Dog, you know, Bad News Allen, excuse me, wrong guy. Bad News Allen on here, you know. And he's like, I know the perfect place to hang it. And go to commercial break. Looks like Jericho's joining the Don Callis family against his will. Looks like he's going to be conned into this family. Immediately after that, we have a Hook vignette. I don't even remember seeing that, but we had it. Blackpool Combat Club do a PSA. Actually, I remember that's when Rick was getting here, so I talked over this. Said, don't play with fire. Don't mess with the Blackpool Combat Club. They lost last week at Blood and Guts, but they're still on a hot streak. Claudio said that beating he gave Pac was just the beginning. He couldn't even take it like a man. Moxie rolls up and says, if anybody else out there thinks that they're the coolest cat in the room, they should stay in their lane or get hurt. Which, I mean, wouldn't the Elite be because they beat them down. And anyways. Jungle Boy, Jack Perry, comes out to the ring. And I did not take him seriously. I cannot take his promo seriously as this new Jack Perry heel guy. It's just doesn't fit. I can't buy it. In came Jerry Lynn, an AEW producer and legendary wrestler. He's wrestled everywhere. WWE, ECW, WCW, TNA. This guy's been everywhere. MLW, I believe. Like, he's wrestled everywhere. Tells Jungle Boy that that's enough and that ECW paved the way for all the guys today, and if he keeps it up, he'll get his ass kicked. Jungle Boy asks him, who's going to do that? Jerry drops his mic and confronts him. Perry says he's not dressed for fighting, but come back next week and we'll see what's what. So we're getting a face-to-face next week with Jack Perry and Jerry Lynn. Is that going to lead to a match for Jerry Lynn? I think Jerry Lynn's like 50 or 50, like 7. I don't know what's going to happen with this. We get Renee backstage with Britt Baker. She says she's surprised Taya Valkyrie called her out, but she's excited for the first title match. For her first time match against an opponent she respects and admires, but she is going to win. I was surprised by this as well, because Taya is like very 50-50 on her record right now. Gravity versus Pac in this match. There was a few moments in this match. Well, before we get into that, let's talk about Gravity's entrance. Well, and Pac's entrance. Pac took a moment to come out, and it was kind of funny. There's just dead silence on commentary. His music played for a good 10 seconds, and the commentary's like, well, I'm sure he's about to head out or something. Finally makes it out, and then Gravity's entrance, where he does this freaking moon gravity. It's like where he doesn't have his gravity activated or something. So they do that in the ring before the match. They kind of go back and forth. Good match overall. There was a few moves in the match that looked like Gravity landed hard on Pac, or hit him hard. On the outside, he hit, I believe it was a splash, a handstand falling splash. And I saw Pac doing this little finger thing like he was checking something, but kind of scary moment there. And he hit a really, really nasty brutalizer. Actually hit a avalanche brainbuster that was really nasty and locked in the brutalizer for the win. It looked kind of like a receipt to me, but I don't get it. I was saying earlier, I don't know wrestling, so when it comes to in the ring, but everything looked brutal. They made it look brutal in this match, and that's exactly what Pac does. Gets a win, defeats Gravity as he always defies it. We see footage of Renee interviewing MJF and Adam Cole from last week. MJF trash talks FTR. Cole says it's become about friendship for him, and he wants to make it very clear. Max has nothing to worry about when it comes to the world title, and he's not just his friend, a close friend, but he's becoming one of his best friend, and he means that. MJF says that he's been thinking win, lose, or draw after the 29th. He's going to give Adam Cole a rematch for the title because he knows how much it means to him. Roderick Strong rolled up with his neck brace on, shoves MJF, yells at both of them. Adam tries to keep the peace and asks for a moment to talk to Roddy. Cole says that he loves Strong like a brother, but he's acting crazy and possessive and pushing him away. He has other friends, and Roddy needs to trust him. Strong grabs his arm as he walks away. Cole shrugs him off. He says, boundaries. So, I don't know what's going to happen with Cole and Roddy. Are we going to have a Cole-Roddy match soon? Back from commercial, we get another interview from last week, and it's this time Renee talking to FTR. This was an interesting one. Cash Wheeler's excited. Actually, I think we also had something with MGF. I just remembered the MGF and Adam Cole promo. He's mimicked Dag. I got a daughter and I do flips and just this, brother. So that was kind of a funny moment. But we go to the FTR promo. Wheeler says he's excited, but part of him feels bad because he likes and respects Adam Cole, but he hates Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Everybody that gets to know MJF leaves him, and they have to make sure that they learn that you never mess with FTR. Dax says that he's going to beat the shit out of MJF, and if he says anything about his wife or daughter, he'll rip his eyeballs out, which he did. Into the next match, Darby Allin and Swerve. Darby Allin is crazy. He's crazy. I want to show part of my reaction and Rick's reaction to a spot that I posted to TikTok, and it is a nutty. You didn't see that. That didn't happen. That didn't happen. Nope. You didn't see Shizzy. You did not see Shizzy. Oh, wrong screen. I'm going to show you part of this. Check it out. Outer explosions. Oh my god! Oh, outer explosions. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! He's knocked out. He's knocked out. This is why I hate this shit, dude. I think he's good. Oh no, he looked. Darby is ridiculous. The fact that he even does this stuff scares me. I know, like in the replay, he lands well and he rolls through. It was just the angle made it look more brutal, but that was a scary spot. These two have the best chemistry. Of course, Prince Nana was out with Swerve. Prince Nana eventually gets involved. We see Nick Wayne get involved, and it leads to Swerve hitting the JML driver for the win. After the match, actually, sorry, before that, we see a hooded man also get involved that helped Shane Strickland win, and it was obvious due to the pants that it was AR Fox. AR Fox immediately joins back after to help beat down, takes off his hood, and it is him, and he is joining the Mogul Embassy. Happy for AR Fox. They're giving him something to do, man. Afterwards, we have the JAS. It's Ty, Anna J, and 2.0. And they're in the hallway outside of Jericho's locker room. Jericho rolls up, as is Renee Paquette with them. Asks, what's going to happen here. He says, hey, guys, Renee, we'll talk later. And says, let's go into the room, the locker room, guys. So they all go in the locker room. Cameraman follows them. They see the painting that Don Callis gave him. He hung it up in his locker room. He asks Ty, how's the baby? She says, the baby's great. And she says, but what's going on with the JAS? Angelo Parker says that this whole crew means the world to all of them, and he thinks it means the same to him, but he's not entirely sure anymore. Anna Jay steps right up into his face, says Chris is just being selfish because they spent all this time appreciating him, and he hasn't returned the favor. So until he does, she won't give 100%, and she walks away. Matt Menard tells him to figure it out quick, and then they go to commercial break. JAS seemingly done. Is Jericho joining the Don Callis family? Afterwards, they recap Daddy Ass putting his boots down on Collision last Saturday. He put his boots down after losing the trio title match with the Acclaimed to the House of Black. Took his boots off, left him in the ring, walked out. Acclaimed tried to talk to him. He pushes them away and went to the back. So guess we'll find out more this Saturday on Collision, which I won't be live for. I will have it DVR'd and I will watch after the UFC pay-per-view. It will also be a part of the Kliq Cast podcast that I plan to do Sunday night, reviewing SmackDown, Rampage, Collision, and the UFC, and Great American Bash. So we're going to have a stacked podcast. Unless I do one Friday night, just to I might do another one Friday night. I want to do more of these, so you guys might see me do a podcast Friday night recapping Rampage, SmackDown. So when the one I do Sunday night could just be Great American Bash, UFC, and Collision. So I might do that. So expect multiple podcasts a week now. Britt Baker, DMD versus Taya Valkyrie in an okay match. This is another match tonight that I just felt like was a little bit slow. It did pick up a little at the end with Panama Sunrise is how she almost get the win. Valkyrie hits some knees off the ropes with a spear, but the spear was really, for me, just didn't look the best. I guess Braun Breaker spear on Tuesday killed that. But the road to Valhalla was reversed. She hits the lockjaw and Taya taps. Okay match overall. I don't know what it's setting up there, but I don't know. In the end, it wasn't the best. Nyla Rose and Hikaru Shida get some dueling promos about their match for Rampage this Friday. They've had a big history, of course, Shida defeating Nyla in the past for the AEW Women's title, and they are fighting again this Friday. We are getting a Battle Royal, a tag team number one contenders Battle Royal this Friday. We see Big Bill, Brian Cage are going to be in it, as well as a few other teams that I can't tell you off the top of my head, but that was the one that I remember the most because they had a match last Rampage that I didn't see that apparently was very good. So they are in this Battle Royale. We get our main event, Best Friends versus the Blackpool Combat Club versus the Lucha Bros. And this was a fantastic match, my match of the night tonight. All 6 men went nuts against each other. At one point, all 6 men were slugging it out. Best Friends with the hug. Lucha Bros clear out the Blackpool. Stereo pile drivers from the Best Friends, but it wasn't enough for the win. Luchas trapped the Best Friends in a submission. The match breaks down again when Blackpool come back into it. The wrist clutch stomps. Ricola bomb set up, but Cassidy comes out. John Moxley goes out to fight him. Trent Barretta reverses the Ricola bomb, but he's not the legal man. Fenix with the super kick. Penta grabs the underhooks, and they win with the Fear Factor. Post-match, the Best Friends and Blackpool Combat Club brawl. Lucha Brothers get in the middle of it and eat it from both teams. The brawl refuses to end, and the show ends. Good overall Dynamite. I'm really curious what's happening with Jericho overall. Not the best Dynamite. There was a lot of downtime, it felt like, with the Brit match, and I don't know if it was the OC AR Fox match kind of feeling slow to me that threw me off tonight, but Gravity Impact was great. The Jungle Boy promo I didn't care for. I don't buy into what he's saying. I can't feel it. I don't believe it, man. It's kind of the same thing with Austin Theory for a lot of people. Darby Allin and Swerve was fantastic. Britt and Taya just didn't hit for me. Overall, though, solid show. I'd give it a 3 out of 5. I think that's what I gave it tonight. Excited to see what's going to happen with Blackpool Combat Club. We had no Elite, no Kota Ibushi tonight, no No, none of them, even though they won Blood and Guts last week. But we did see BCC. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with BCC next, even though the Elite defeated them last week. So I don't know, even though BCC's acting like they're the top dogs still, even though they lost. I don't know what's next. But I believe they did announce a triple threat for next Wednesday between Trent, Mox, and I believe Penta. So that's happening next week. They announced a few other matches for Rampage, as well as we have the tag title match on Saturday for Collision. Adam Cole MJF versus FTR. So a lot going on for AEW. We got Great American Bash this Sunday. We have, of course, SmackDown. We're continuing the build to SummerSlam with Roman and Jay. And a lot more going on. So a lot of great wrestling right now. You know, we had ROH last weekend as well, last Friday night. There's just so much wrestling that you can watch. The G1 is going on right now. I am completely out of the loop on the G1. So if you have any recommendations for me to watch from the G1, I think we're 9 days in at this point on July 26th, 2023. So if you guys have any recommendations for the G1, drop them down below in the comments. Tweet them at me at HeelJosh, or thread it at me at HeelJosh, or I think that's it's HeelJosh for the threads, which is Twitter but Instagram made. So it's HeelJosh on Instagram and threads, and it's HeelJosh on Twitter actually. So let me know what matches to check out from the G1 if you're in the YouTube video. Comment down below. And let me know what you guys think of the G1 currently. I have not kept up with it. I do believe Jeff Cobb is leading. I think the only thing I heard Jeff Cobb is leading is Block, which is like, wow, he's undefeated. So Jeff Cobb on a run, I believe, in the G1 is the only thing I know at the moment. But that is it for me tonight, guys. Again, thank you for listening to the Kliq Cast Podcast. Hopefully this record properly and good for you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like the video, subscribe if you're watching on the YouTube. If you're listening to Spotify, make sure you follow here on Spotify. If you're listening at my website, heeljosh-shop.fourthwall.com, and you're part of the memberships, thank you for being an awesome member, and you're great. If you're not part of those memberships, you get this podcast completely ad-free at my website, heeljosh-shop.fourthwall.com. It's Patreon-style memberships, $5 a month for completely ad-free viewing of this podcast. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you guys Friday night where I recap Rampage and SmackDown.